Hollywood is a really bad place ran by really bad people. And if you really want to succeed in Hollywood, you better keep your mouth shut and you better fall in line. And if you do step out of line, and if you do have an opinion that goes against the narrative, your career will disappear in a second. But fall in line. And even if you trash half of the country based on how they vote, you will still be elevated in Hollywood. And we have seen a classic example of that today. I mean, this is Hollywood we're talking about. This is the industry that covered up for and elevated Harvey Weinstein for all of those years. Meryl Streep stood on stage and said he was God himself. That's what Meryl Streep said about Harvey Weinstein. We saw all of these powerful actors and actresses just continue to praise Harvey Weinstein. And now we know the truth. And now you have Pedro Pascal, my good buddy Pedro Pascal. He apparently has an issue with the way I say his name, but he has been cast as Joel in HBO's The Last of Us. That's a very interesting casting choice. But the real interesting aspect here is that on the same day that Pascal was announced as Joel for The Last of Us series, Gina Carano was fired by Lucasfilm. That's right, Gina Carano was fired by Lucasfilm for her social media posts. Why? Because her social media posts didn't line up with the Hollywood narrative. It's not about her social media posts. It's the fact that her posts go against the narrative. That's the problem. Suddenly, Lucasfilm is not all about the Force is female anymore. Suddenly, it's not about respecting women. It's almost like they only want women and non-white dudes that will repeat the nonsense. And the moment you don't repeat the nonsense, they will get rid of you. That sounds pretty bigoted to me. But that's the Hollywood way, ladies and gentlemen. It's full of projection. It's full of calling anyone and everyone names. It's full of accusing fans of the very thing that the Hollywood powerful tycoons, or whatever you want to call them, are guilty of. These people are really bad people. Now, Gina Carano has also been reportedly dropped by her talent agency after being fired from The Mandalorian. Absolutely ridiculous. But again, this is what happens when you're an actual strong, empowered woman who has opinions that don't line up with the Hollywood narrative. Suddenly you see how much they really do respect women. Suddenly it looks like it was nothing more than a virtue signal to say how much you respect strong, empowered women. We want women voices to matter. We want women representation until those women step out of line. And then suddenly we're going to fire those women and shame those women. That sounds pretty interesting, doesn't it? It sounds kind of similar. Sounds a lot like the things that they accuse the fans of doing. It's almost like that is projection. But we also have Pedro Pascal, like I said. So on the day that Gina Carano gets fired for social media posts, Pascal gets a new job. But this is the same guy who said this. Wait a minute. Did he just compare 75 million Americans to Yahtzees? That's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. And I covered this a long time ago here on the channel, and he obviously responded and in a very sarcastic way. But this is okay. You can trash 75 million Americans and call them the worst thing in the world. And in Hollywood, as long as you do that, as long as it's against Trump, you get a new job in Hollywood. But as soon as you are a woman and you have your own opinion and you voice that opinion, Hollywood will throw you out like a piece of trash. And that is what has happened today. So you tell me, who's the real misogynist out there? Who's the real bigoted people out there? Who are the people that are the toxic ones? It's almost like that projection is starting to get exposed. I have been telling you for years that Lucasfilm was like this. I've been telling you for years that Hollywood was like this. Hollywood is ran by terrible people, and they only want people that are willing to fall in line. Now, you can be a white guy, but the big problem is if you're not a white dude and you're in Hollywood, don't you dare have a different opinion. Because that is the worst thing you can do. If you are not a white dude and you're in Hollywood, if you speak up, if you have an opinion, if you're a woman, If you're a black person, if you're anything other than a white dude and you speak up, you represent everything that they don't want. They do not want you to speak up or speak out against anything. They want you to fall in line. That is the most dangerous thing in the world to Hollywood. It's not a white dude like me, because that's easy to dismiss in Hollywood. But the moment you're not a white dude and you start speaking up, that is where the real trouble happens in Hollywood. And Gina Carano just proved that today. A legitimate, strong, badass, talented woman who the fans have fallen in love with. And yet, because of a few woke activists on social media that create fake accounts and then create a hashtag, suddenly now Disney has bent the knee to them. Because Disney is not interested in strong, empowered women. They're interested in people like Pedro. Pedro, who can trash 75 million Trump supporters, and then he gets another job. And cancel Disney Plus is trending #1 nationwide as fan backlash for firing Gina Carano continues. What's going to come of that, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I have told you over and over again how things work in Hollywood and specifically at Lucasfilm. And today's news has done nothing more than confirm every single thing that I have said. Did it seem like things might be changing slightly? Potentially, absolutely. But it's clear it hasn't. It's clear nothing has happened and nothing will happen. Disney, Lucasfilm, Hollywood, the left-wing machine will continue to be the left-wing machine, especially what's going on in the political climate right now. Yeah, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. It's going to continue to get worse. It's going to continue to get worse. And as long as you have people like the cowards in the Republican Party who will just bend over for the left-wing Democrats who want to sit there and spew lies and make up stories that didn't happen, even when there's video evidence to prove that they're lying, no. They still just, the coward Republicans just continue to let it happen. It is unbelievable, but that is where we are in 2021. If you have an opinion that goes against the Hollywood narrative, you will be taken out. You are done. But it's okay to trash the fans as long as those fans are Trump supporters. That's the Disney Lucasfilm way. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for supporting everything we have going on, whether that's this channel, Sports Wars, Park Hoppin', Gaming with Geeks, our Twitch channel, our website, geeksandgamers.com. A lot is going on. We're continuing to build this brand. We have a huge team of people. We have a lot of different voices here. And unlike Lucasfilm, we don't silence people that disagree with us on this team. We continue to try to elevate those people because everyone's voice matters in that equation. And Geeks and Gamers is truly a diverse place with diverse opinions. And even if you don't like my opinions, you can find someone on this team that you do like, probably. A lot of them disagree with me politically and socially. A lot of them disagree with me on movies and video games. And that is how the world should operate. Quit being scared of different opinions. It is ridiculous. Quit worrying about these woke Twitter activists. Twitter is garbage. Twitter is trash. Twitter is not the real world, and people have to stop letting it get to you. Treat it for what it is. It's a social media platform to get news from. Quit arguing with weirdos, quit fighting with them, and quit worrying about what they have to say because they truly don't matter. Thank you guys for supporting this. Have a great day. Shout out to Gina Carano for being amazing and being awesome. And we stand with Gina Carano. We love Gina Carano. She is awesome. You guys have a good one, and we'll talk to you later.